It was an accident. I happened to be listening when I was living in Atlanta to my friends who were pilots speaking about the Air Trans Southwest merger back in 2009. And they had just gotten out of a meeting, and I said, how come you didn't bring up this, and this? And they all turned to me and went, you should be a mediator. And I'm like, what's that? It's a very famous saying in the Christian Bible, and hope and faith are gone, love remains. And that's exactly what the human experience is. It's about hope and faith being chipped away in our lives, especially in adversity. And when it's chipped away, how do we rebuild it? And mediation, the mediation table is a platform where hope and faith can be rebuilt by moving forward with your difference because of mediation agreements. So that's how I see it. I was mediating in Washington State with a lady and her ex-husband across the table from each other. I was sitting on the narrow end of the table, so we were all very close. And it wasn't getting anywhere, and she wasn't really weighing into the conversation. I was thinking, how come this isn't getting anywhere? And all of a sudden, she screamed at me. I could actually feel her breath and move my hair. She said, Kathleen, very high volume, you don't understand because you've never had a miscarriage. And I heard that, and I was shocked. And I thought to myself, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? There was a man from the Army observing the mediation as well. So there's 2 men and 2 women in this mediation. And all of a sudden, while I'm taking the moment, I'm in shock as a mediator. And all of a sudden, this great big crocodile tear just fell out of my left eye and went down my face. And the body keeps score of trauma. And all of a sudden, I realized that I don't have a choice anymore, that I need to go ahead and make a decision. So my decision was to be honest. So with that honest decision, I told her, I said, actually, her name, I have had a miscarriage. And everyone was just so quiet. And I don't usually break when things like that hit the mediation table as a mediator at the table. But this time I did. I said, might it be a good time to take a break? I sat there with her and I said, would you like to be alone? And she had her head down and she just nodded her head like this. So I stood up and I started to walk out the door and my intuition checked me. And I said, are you sure you don't want me to stay with you? And this is a very human moment. I've left the professional mediator role and decided to be a human being. And she said, yes, actually, Kathleen, I would like you to stay. And as soon as I closed the door and sat down next to her, she just burst out in tears and wept and just wept. And that mediation came to an agreement because of the fact that she could unload her trauma in a really genuine human way with me there. She says, I'm so sorry, Kathleen. I'm so sorry. And she kept saying that, and I kept assuring her it was okay. And with that being said, she was so much lighter feeling as a person at the mediation table, because we're only vessels. We can only keep in so much trauma. The body does keep score. And she got a chance to dump it, to unload it onto the mediation table. I have a term that I call cultural humility, and moving very slowly with words, listening, and I reiterate summary anyway is the main part of my practice, where I legitimately memorize people's words and reiterate summary back to them. And that's what I teach when I train as a mediator, at least grab their keywords. And you're showing cultural humility already when you reiterate summarizing of people. You're using their words. I noticed, I said, I saw that you looked down when you mentioned that as well. You're waiting for people to talk. So cultural humility is what we need. And we also need the ability as mediators to be correctable. And so as mediators, we have to feel comfortable with correctability, and we have to say thank you for that correction, because we need clarity and accuracy. So we need clarity and accuracy with cultural differences as well. We've got these conflicts that have been with us, all throughout time, where people can't work it out with words. Once we lose the ability to not be able to work something out with words, we use other weapons of conflict. And when you have large powers that cannot work it out with words, and they're going to access all their resources to win, to get their way. And obviously, more countries have more resources than others. More governments have more resources than others. More governments have more resources than people they're responsible for. So we get this energy, tsunami wave size energy now, because every time we couldn't work it out with words, it builds up like a wave. We couldn't work it out with words. It's taken 3 years. We haven't worked it out yet. It's taken 5 years. We haven't worked it out yet. Okay, now we have a tsunami wave of conflict. Nobody can control that. Even the people that initiate the conflict, they can't even control it. So it's huge that we don't have the ability to do this yet.